not a lot of players have practiced it.
I mean that Venusaur central area clear is glacial. I mean,
Yes.
it moves at the speed of smell. So not only do they not have
Yes.
smite, not only does it have low smite ability in that Pokemon, they're not even going to be able to catch up to the Squovit as it paces around its side of the field here. But no such tricks out of S5S here, as Void is going with a Greninja, and I'm assuming they're going to be the one hitting that central area with that Alolan Ninetales Wawa swinging into the bottom path.
No change up in the strategy so far for ToS. I mean, if it ain't broke, you know the rest of the saying. So I think they're going to be trying to make this work, and remember, we are in a best-of-3 situation, as this is going to be the last game we're covering. So thank you so much for joining us. ToS, this is their winning into the Aeos Cup, something that these players have been looking forward for a long time. Can they make it happen? S5S starting out by taking that middle Audino.
Yeah, good start by S5S, and again, they're not just going to give it up for free here. Nope. ToS has to earn it, and by way of doing that is through S5S. Wawa, well, who do we have here? Their names are kind of Aiden, Wawa, and who's the S5S?
I think Rev. I'm going to call them Rev.
Perfect. Revy.
Okay.
Revy. There we go. I was like the slash and all the things were throwing me off. Right, Aiden and Revy getting a little support here as Feppy's just putting the chase on. Just fearless as that Gossifleur in the hands of Feppy, that's for sure. As Akilo's playing back a little bit, going to try and look to take up to Blissey here in short order. Probably use that back Corphish to do so.
Top lane going completely in the favor of S5S right now. Void and Wawa able to combine for a KO onto Sanji. Also, this advantage is going to make that Sanji can't compete for top Bs whatsoever, because we know that Scolded is in the bot lane on this rotate. So they're going to try to find value there. Sanji going to be quite out-leveled by their counterpart of Wawa. Going to have, an uphill climb to be able to compete with the other Lucario.
Yeah, just a quick presence by Scolded. Going to get back into the jungle area here. Is Wawa going for the invade?
I was calling it. It's the jungle invade.
Scolded kind of sussing it out. I think they might have seen them go into the bush here.
Yeah, they do. Okay.
Oh, they pick it out with the Razor Leaf, and here comes Feppy for the support. So what that was getting on the comm saying, "Hey, the Lucario's hanging out here. Come with me." Waiting for Feppy to pull up, and then using the Razor Leaf, and that completely deflated the strategy of Wawa there before they could execute on any of it, and ToS losing that valuable central area experience.
It did really work. However, Sanji still had to commit some space over to threaten Wawa, meaning that Void was able to clean up even more experience in this top lane. Right now, Sanji is being completely starved at level 6 in comparison with Wawa, so they're going to be even in levels, but still, Sanji would love to be a level 7 by this first Dreadnought. Might be a tough ask in this current situation, though.
Yeah, without a doubt. Looks like Sanji trying to roll down with the other Lucario here. Scolded wants to get more levels in, and here we go. The ToS kind of grouping up here. We're going to see how they approach it. We're going to have an engage around these bees. Now everybody focuses on the bees, of course, and ToS kind of smothering all over it here as Void dives in, and everything going to get picked off. No, S5S retreating just a little bit. Aiden making it back, and I think everybody's going to bide some time until this Dreadnought arrives, and they can really pop this thing off.
Exactly. Akilo hiding out in this bush. A lot of early presence. Dreadnought just finally starting to get ripped into here.
Oh man, look at the E-Speed Bone Rush coming in. They're isolating Wawa, and they're going to try and dive them in. But here we go. The opposing Lucario Wawa goes down. Is there 2 Wawas? I think there is. Void getting caught on the backside here. That's Chaos Shrika 2 for Scolded, and the dinosaur is starting to eat right now. Chaos Shrika 3, keep going, kid. It's Jurassic Park out here. They're eating everybody up. Holy smokes, Scolded with a Chaos Shrika 4, and that's just a rough look if you're S5S, and ToS could not be any happier with that, as Lucario's going to try and keep this goal zone standing on their own with a solo effort here. Lucario on Lucario Crime. Greninja Unite move coming in. Scolded Unite move coming in. And now we're working through. Greninja gets vaporized. Holy smokes. Chaos Shrika 2 for Scolded. They're getting fed. They're already level 10. Chaos Shrika 3 for Scolded. Oh my gosh. Go forward for Scolded. Come on.
Terms of Scolded are like signing your life away right there. Void saw blood in the water. Launched in with a really nice Unite move engage. Brought down everyone's health down to half. However, the other side, Scolded returns in favor with that verdant anger. And it was just too much for the side of S5S to deal with. A huge flip of the script right now. The situation that they're in is they need to find a major objective, or else this game is going to be a complete wash for Terms of Scolded. Right now, S5S needs some extra value here. Who's it going to come from? If Sanji goes down, that could be the start.
I mean, that wasn't a wake-up call. That was an absolute air horn by ToS, and S5S needs to regroup here and find how they're going to play into this one, because the level disparities are huge here, and they're going to try and oh no, they're crashing all around them, and they do, S5S does take Rotom, but look at this, they're getting pushed back violently, and the KOs are raining in. That's an E-Speed by Sanji getting a KO on the Ninetales, and now the Scolded, of course, is playing forward. They're just going in, they're getting KO Shrika 2, they're pushing, KO Shrika 2 for Lucario, they're pushing, and the Blissey here for the save, as that Goal Zone absolutely goes down. ToS just peels onto that Rotom, dispatches it quickly, and holy smokes, things are getting bad.
All right. Yeah, no kidding. So they do launch the Rotom the other way. Sanji uses the Unite move, not able to get the last hit. But take a look at this. Right now, Muck rotating down early is allowing the rest of the team to siege that tier 2 and Scolded to get their jungle buffs. Muck launches the Unite move really early. Maybe the other team, maybe the rest of the team was getting in a bit of danger in that enemy jungle. Making sure to get them out completely free. Void taking a ton of damage. Sanji not quite able to close the gap for the KO. However, they are going to get Dread. However, the other team going to be rotating for some top goal scoring.
Yeah, I mean, easy Dread for them, and we've seen this numerous times.
Yeah,
when you put the opposing team into this position, they really have nothing to do but to rotate here, and this Greninja is looking at 5 players of teams in terms of Scolded, and Void, poor Void, they're getting some help from Wawa as they jump in for the support. That's a Unite move by the Venusaur, and they're going to try and gobble up the A9 and the Frog. They're pushing forward. The Fox and the Frog going to try and tan it up with that alliteration, but it ain't going to work here. Unite move by the Slowbro and the Venusaur just trying to stem that a little bit, but that action keeps coming. Unite move by the Hoopa, and they're going to try and burn it down as they're pushing back pretty successfully. This ToS squad, a nice effort by S5S. Please just back off and don't overcommit. Don't give them any KOs. You did your job. Go find the farm.
Oh, they did their job, but man, they would have really liked a bonus KO for their troubles right there. It's a huge investment of Unite moves. They have time to farm it, but the advantage isn't really going to swing their way. Things are just going to kind of stay the same as they always have. Shout out to the player on your screen right now, though. Extreme Aiden using that Unite move barely kept Void alive in that situation, and Void going down there getting knocked out by ToS could have been catastrophic. We could have seen a lot more KOs in this league grow even farther, but we just see it there, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they find Void anyways, right? The big Slowbro not there to babysit in that particular instance, and Void caught all out of sorts as this Rotom's going to be sent all the way to that second tier goal zone. And we're going to see if there's going to be a concerted push, and it looks like S5S is just regrouping somewhere else. Maybe trying to go get this Dreadnought here as ToS just moves around the map pretty freely.
Exactly, yeah. There's not too much farm to find, though, so they're honestly just buying time at this point. You know that they have the Unite with Void goes down completely to Sanji. Huge engage with the extreme speed. They break the second tier goal zone thanks to the 6th member of ToS, the Rotom. And now, with 20 seconds until Zapdos, ToS with a monumental lead.
Sheesh. That Dreadnought could give 4 times the experience, and I think S5S would just be starting to break even with ToS here. And now, terms of Scolded, they're just going to buy time trying to get some vision. So maybe Feppy will try to get some vision if they're willing to move forward here. Certainly Sanji's going to try to find somebody. Looks like the vision is going to be on Muck and a Kilo to figure out where the squad is and where S5S wants to engage from. And it looks like it's at the top. Wawa waiting, Aiden waiting. Here comes the other Wawa, and they're just trying to pick their spot. Are they going to roll in from up top? I don't like Aiden being back behind. If they're trying to look for this engage, it's got to be off the back of the Slowbro here. And looks like Rev goes in, and they're kicking this thing off, and they're working into Zapdos, biding a little time. ToS engages here, and of course it's Scolded coming in, piggybacked by the Blissey, and they're working through. The Unite moves come through. Hoop on bounce, fists everywhere, and now we're going and we're taking a look. Scolded's still up, and they're moving through, and that's too much damage. The Zapdos is absolutely burned down. 2 players down for S5S, and the next one's on the chopping block. That's Void. They're getting chased. Scolded doesn't want to give it up. They want the stat sheet boosts, baby, and they're working through. That's 4 players down for S5S, and it's ducket time.
Chat,
never mind, it's surrender time.
It's surrender time. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure Scolded just secured the Zapdos with a pedal dance tick. Because that was absolutely so close. Came down to a flip scenario, but in honestly, the way that game was playing out, the way the team fight was unfolding, ToS would have been able to net themselves the KOs and still get points in return favor. So ToS with a really nice win there. Early game in top was very difficult for Sanji to play against players players like Wawa and Void. So there's Wawa TV and Wawa nothing. So maybe that's our definition between the two. The top lane was a really tough matchup for ToS, having to commit Scolded to the bot lane every time. Still, though, the amount of value they found in the bottom lane got them just a huge lead throughout the rest of the game. Protect the President comp, very much taken seriously by Team of ToS.
Yeah, sorry, Zoinks, I didn't mean to step over you there, but I just really wanted to highlight only one KO on the side of S5S, and I don't think that was a product of them not necessarily engaging in the right way. I think that's just the strength of Feppy, of Aquilo, of Dat Boy Muck on this kind of trick, pollen puff, Blissey combo, that they safeguard combo that they've got going on in that bottom path, that is just making Sanji and Scolded so resilient. And then you look at Pedal Dance and Giga Drain getting that HP back. I mean, it is just hard work in there, and those KOs are definitely earned. They're definitely earned. And that is just a good composition. I think ToS has found their stride with it, and I think these teams, if they were to qualify for the Aeos Cup, they're going to have to find a way of how they combat into this. And I want to pick your brain a little bit, Zoinks.
Yeah.
How do you punch a hole in that? I know you talked a little bit about it in terms of like maybe like a Greedent invade, but I mean more on like a kind of umbrella holistic level. Like, what is the weakness of this composition, and how do you punch a hole through it?
Well, this weakness I think might be identified a little bit about the strength is that they are just, this is an immortal composition, right? We've called it Protect the President. I've seen people in chat calling it the Juice comp. If it's still an unnamed comp, I want to call it the Immortal composition. I really like these undying players throwing everywhere around. I think if you were to try to take it out, oh man, an all-in front-to-back strategy might be a little bit better. Honestly, you can't out-keel or out-sustain this composition. It's not gonna happen. And we're seeing these Slowbro Unite moves. And this Unite move out of Aiden in that last team fight was utilized after the Blissey ult and before the Venusaur ult, which actually I think is perfect timing. I think that is exactly when you need to do so. However, it was just too much, even with a perfect timing from a counter Unite move, not being able to KO that Pokemon. Honestly, I think we might need to drop the Slowbro in this situation. I'd love to see a little bit more of a flip kind of situation for the other side. Make these objectives tougher to get. Get your Lucario on a power-up punch close combat style of build. I know extreme speed looks good, but you're not gonna find KOs when you're diving into this enemy team. It's just not gonna happen. Blastoise top lane? Maybe? Another potential? I don't know. There's definitely looks you can take. I don't think this competition is unbeatable. Full Send found a way to defeat them for sure. But I don't know if it's going to come... It's definitely not going to come on the back of a dive composition. Let's just say that much.
Yeah, no, that's a very... clean read on this situation without a doubt, as we're getting ready to jump back into the game here. But it looks like Aiden, again, one of the most prominent players in that first game, just playing very well, very clean, and giving their team as many opportunities as they can.
Void on Cinder,
Void switching again from the Greninja to Cinder, very well identified, Zoinks. So we're gonna see if this small shift is going to be what they need to really bring some parity to this matchup here on Aeos Island.
Gonna be really foundational. I think this Cinderace swap is gonna give them a lot of extra value. Not gonna be diving in as far to try to find these KOs, but you're gonna be able to just be an artillery cannon from the back. I honestly would love to see this player pick up the Pyro Ball build, but I don't know if that'll happen. Blaze Kick's just so unbelievably strong right now. Let's jump back down the bottom lane.
Pyro Ball in the hopes of having just another form of secure?
That and just to be able to deal damage from range. Venusaur has to get in your face to be a problem. The more you could just keep space while dealing a ton of that amazing damage you can shoot out might be worth.
Right. I mean, that's a solid read on both fronts for sure. Now, ToS, they're passing Void rolling up, and again, Sanji kind of left alone, and they're just responsible for babysitting this goal zone here. They do get that A-Palm in the face of those two players. Very well sought out and scouted. These A-Palms are right there for Sanji to go ahead and take and get to level 5, close to level 6 here, as S5S is going to have to do some work in this bottom path. to get their slow poke into a slow bro and get Hoopa to level 4. They're a little under leveled here. Look how far ahead of Kilo is. Pushing with the help of Scolded here, right in the face of S5S. Extreme Aiden just sitting on the goal zone, but the points are going in regardless. Look at that Barry getting pulled up by the Hoopa. Just good, meticulous work from everybody on the scene here. ToS looking very, very sharp.
No kidding. And again, we've called it the Protect the President comp, the Juice comp, whatever you want to call it here. Wawa with another little bit of an invade. Sanji sussing it out this time, having 3 players try to stop them, cut off the bleeding a little bit. Wawa going to try to find the last hit here.
Yeah, I mean, just a little switch of the script there by Wawa as Sanji dashes through and it goes a little errant, not able to get any damage in here.
Leaf Tornado.
Yeah, the Leaf Tornado, that's a big switch up from the Pollen Puff that we saw last time. Maybe thinking that we don't need that much HP here, and I'd much rather just start throwing my Scolded dinosaur into your face faster, which is really what Leaf Tornado allows you to do. Look at Sanji finding Wawa, chasing him down to see if they can get the KO. No, they escape, but just as the Raboot is loitering somewhere in the middle of the map.
No kidding. All right, Scolded back all the way to try to get their buff, see what they can find here. Void taking a lot of early damage here. Akilo immune to that CC while safeguarded, tries to find it, but Feppy gets KO'd. Extreme Aiden with a nice collapse. Let's see if Wawa can find it. Yes, one Wawa does, not the one I expected to do it, but they find the KO. 2 big KOs here, 20 seconds or so until Dreadnought. That's very, very important. Good collapse from the side of S5S.
Yeah, absolutely great look, and because of that, they're going to get a majority of those Bs, if not all of them, and now they're playing pretty far forward into the face of ToS. Now, Dreadnought's only 8 seconds away, but Aiden goes down. That's not the Pokemon you want to go down here, as now ToS has the onus to put the pressure on. They're pushing back into the goal zone here, and they say, we pushed them off just enough. Let's chip into Dreadnought a little bit, put the screws to S5S, make them dive in. We're going to try to isolate this Cinderace. Look at Sanji, bone rushing back around. They're going to get the KO on Lucario. No, the Hoopa does. Now they're working through Dreadnought, half HP, pushing back up. The Hoopa's low, and the Hoopa going to put the chase on. Wawa and everybody sent scrambling as Void is trying to fire some kicks in for the back line. KO Shrika 2 for the Hoopa. Anybody that seems to get too close is finding and just kicking the bucket, no problems, as Rev tries to chip in, but that Dreadnought is still up and it's leashed back and it's reset, and we might have another fight here in short order.
That's true, but this is so important. Void just getting that last hit on the fish means that they have their Unite move available. Blazing Bicycle gets shot in, but too late! Muck finds the KO, gets the secure, and Dreadnought goes in the favor of ToS. That is terrible, honestly, for the squad. They're gonna need to find another angle back into the game. I saw the hope of the level 9 evolution. I really did. So did Void, but just a second too late on that evolution timing.
Oh man, just going to work down here in terms of Scolded, using that just lucky little flip, the last chip shot on the Dreadnought, using that experience and pushing up, and they're just taking KOs just north, south, east, and west on this map here, and now certainly on this goal zone as more points are getting reined in, and Sanji doing a lot of great work with the E-Speed, kind of in that slowed down section of the path to get KOs on S5S before they can reach those berries, and ultimately with the goal zone getting closed out.
Because that team fight was so long around Dreadnought, we will probably realistically only see 2 Dreadnoughts this entire game, meaning that S5S's big comeback potential is going to need to come on the back of the second Dreadnought. And if you've played Pokemon Unite for a while, you know that one of the most important objectives across the entire game is going to be second Dread. That is always going to be the big game changer. Can give your lead an extra mile, but it can also catch you up if you were in that situation too.
Without a doubt. Now, ToS actually rotated a little earlier, getting the positioning and able to take a lot of Bs here. Is S5S going to make their push in the top path? It looks like everybody's kind of grouping up as Dat Boy Muck is sitting in the middle, maybe with the ability to pull people down with the Unite move, but ultimately joins the crew. Sanji says, I'm tired of waiting. And we don't have all night. Let's get this Rotom going. And because of that push and the quick convergence by ToS, S5S didn't even have a shot at it as they want to battle from their goal zone. They retreat a little bit, and the goal zone just goes down. They let the Rotom escort in and take care of that, no problem.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, that's a really good call. If you don't let that Rotom go in, that gives a chance for ToS to get some extra scores. Let's Rotom actually overdunk it, which could be a huge problem. Let's take a look. Guess where Muck is at second Dread, everybody? All the way down there, getting the perfect rotation Hoopa Unbound teleport.
Yeah, the rest of ToS getting points in up top, but that's a K over the Ninetales and the Venusaur. Wawa getting a couple in as a Kilo comes through, and they're going to try and pick up Sanji here as they really want to get that Dreadnought and keep that comeback experience from going to the hands of S5S. Wawa is low on life as that boy Muck susses it out, and always a damage dealer at heart as they're working through. Hoopon bound back for S5S as they're pushing through. The Dreadnought's still not down, but now we have a Unite move, or excuse me, the Unite move by the Hoopon bound. That laser beam coming through, able to close it out. Now we're going with E-Speeds. We're going with the Unite move from the Lucario here, firing back across. We've got Buddy Berries all over the place, and they're still chipping into each other as we're working down. One player down for S5S, and the Hoopa's down for ToS. Somebody's on the verge here, low HP, and I think it was Lucario. Down they go. Void, low HP, gets a berry, but Scolded is leveled up and ready to chase. Here we go, Dat Boy Muck. This is going to be great experience for them, and Venusaur gets the final shot, which means that brings them up to level parity.
Yeah, that second Dreadnought definitely felt like it could be a game-winning team objective, but honestly, because of the chaos that followed, it feels like it's just kind of an even parity situation. However, that's definitely what S5S is gonna take it. Anything that's bringing them back into the game, they absolutely want right now. A level 12 Wawa as well as a level 11 Wawa on this side are going to be some interesting team fighters for sure. They're headed into the triple support though. Wawa's gonna need to find a lot of value on this Alola Ninetales if they're going to net themselves any KOs. The player I'm most looking at, though, is Void. Got some really nice KOs, was able to knock out Sanji, and we're going to break this bottom tier goal zone with a pretty good overdunk. Shout out to the pod. 290 to 171. A lot of points need to be garnered to make this match even in terms of score, over 100, so that's going to be at least 2 dunks in this final 2-minute mark.
Yeah, but those experience levels are closer together, much closer together than they were at level 1, and that's the first part of the equation here that S5S needs to contend with, and they've gone ahead and resolved that issue. But here we go. Skolden's leading the charge into the middle, and they're going for a little bit of positioning here as we've got 10 seconds till Zapdos.
Skolden not going to be level 14 this game. They were throughout the rest of the game. However, 13 usually is the benchmark that you absolutely need to be hitting on the Venu. They have their early map presence, but in terms of Skolden, it seems that they don't want to push too hard for the Zap initially. They know that their composition is built to sustain, not to last hit. So they would love to not make this a flip situation. They don't want to depend on the pedal dance like they did in the last team fight.
Yeah, S5S kind of all over the place. Looks like they're going to coalesce into the middle at the bottom here and seeing if they can get a push. That Lucario standing near the bush, but not quite in it. Not going to be concealed there. But Sanji going for that score up top, and the Lucario peels. Are they going to kick off the action? They do. A Kilo isolate a little bit, but here comes Scolded. That's a Unite right onto the Venusaur, and here we go. That's the action as the Hoop on bounce come out, and the Buddy Berries are screaming. But it's too much. It's too much. The dinosaur is ripping through as the Lucario gets the Eldegoss, but not before the whole squad goes down. KO streak of 3. Lucario getting in on the action too, and holy smokes, was that an absolute slaughter in the Zap pit as ToS turns this thing into a barbecue and everybody getting served up. If you're S5S, good look, and ToS punching their ticket to the Aeos Cup in the most violent fashion that you can smash a button I've ever seen in my life.
No kidding. Huge 5-player KO streak. They burned that faster than first bees, honestly, in that situation. A ton of great plays across the board from Terms to Scolded. I think the major thing that I love to see for them in the last couple of minutes was just their great plays around the map for intel. They always knew which direction S5S was trying to play in. That means that they could find so much CC value and lock down on their targets. The Hoopa Hyperspace Fury tease everybody up. The get down Mr. President on a Scolded happens, and we find ToS has made it all the way through a pretty solid bracket run through losers, and they have now qualified for the Aeos Cup.
Yeah, that was